Tomatoes have taken on a whole new meaning in Kpetoe, a small rural area in Ghana's Volta region. No fewer than 500 hectares of new farms have been plowed here since 2006, when the price of 100 kilograms of the fruit rose to a record $50.
We intensify our education as to how to go about production so that they could increase their farm size and the productivity of the soil. And things have quadrupled this year as far as production and the produce from the farm is concerned.
This year the production is very high because a lot of people planted this very year, and we have a lot of fruit in our area.
It is tomato picking season when we visit, and most of the work on the farm is manual. However, farmers in Kpetoe know a green revolution is in the making. They used tractors for the first time this year.
So this time, one person can stand and say the tractor to plow about 10 acres for him or her to cultivate tomatoes. So this team make, and with the help of our extension officers and the advice they give to us, we follow them, we follow the advice, and that make our tomatoes now very. We are thinking that this year we will be a millionaires in Ghana, but now see how the tomatoes are in the farm.
Every 5 days, the thing have to be plucked, the tomatoes have to be plucked, but we couldn't get crates and people to buy.
We have to beg and cry and kneel down for the buyers to even buy a small part of our tomatoes.
Only the very luckiest of the 1,000 or so farmers involved here have been able to find buyers for their crop this year. A total disappointment coming after last year, when a combination of high productivity and high prices galvanized an entire community back into agriculture.
Last year, we got good results from the farms, so we had high hope this year. But the result was pain and grief.
This year, the price dropped from that 50 Ghana cedis last year to 3 Ghana cedis, which is equivalent of $3.
Low prices are bad enough. A combination of low prices and what is a total absence of post-harvest marketing channels has simply broken the backs of tomato farmers here.
We cannot sell, so the tomatoes are rotting in the farms.
The rapidly expanding tomato sector and flourishing farms have meant more job opportunities for young people in the region, normally prone to rural exodus.
Most youth who were going out to the cities for unavailable jobs are now staying back to go into the tomato farms, because the earlier prices entice them to come in, to go into increase their their acreages. But then what has happened this year has discouraged them so much.
Production has outstripped demand of the plant, of the crop. So what happens is that there is abundance of tomatoes on farms. We've got more than 500 hectares of tomatoes in the district.
Turned away by banks when they sought loans to plow these fields, most farmers dealt with unscrupulous money lenders at higher interest rates. The lenders have now turned on the debt collection heat amid threats of cutting future support.
Because of the heavy loss we have suffered this year, it will be very difficult for us to raise money next year to go back into production, and that can be a major setback to our progress.
Even if we are fortunate to get a loan from the bank, This kind of loss can ruin you.
We had to go for loans from other villages around us to cultivate tomato. But when you go to the farm right now, everything is getting rotten to the extent that people are even considering suicide because they will not be able to pay back. This year was particularly terrible for us.
This is the reason why we go to our extension officers to approach our directors for us, if they can help to bring some processing machine so that our price will rise more.
If a processing unit is here, which could process this into any form, it could be a powdered form, because we know, we heard there are machines which can even process tomato into powdered form. If those processing units or a thin form which could add value to the crop, I think it could be of benefit to the farmers.
The few access roads to the farms get even worse than on these images in the heart of the heavy rainy season, further compounding the cost of production and distribution for farmers. The lucky farmer who finds a buyer this year must also surrender the fruit on credit and foot a part of the transportation cost.
Even at $2 a crate, we don't have people to buy. So after harvesting, we pay people to transport them to the roadside. And when buyers come, we have to pay loading fees to drivers. So by the time you take all these expenses, you are getting about $1.20 or $1.30 per crate of 100 kilograms.
Most of the farmers are abandoning the farm because the labor that you use in plucking the tomatoes, each person collects about 2 Ghana cedis, which is equivalent of $2 for picking. And you go to sell that box for $3. It therefore means that even carriage from the farm to the nearest point that lorries will come for it demands labor, and you have to pay this labor. And adding to the cost of production, before you even talk of the benefit or the profit, some farmers find it more reasonable to leave the crops to rot on the farm.
A new generation raised on tomato farms are now on the way to the university, are banking on agriculture and advising the world to buy African.
I plan to do agriculture engineering.
Is that from the farm you've taken it?
Yes, really.
Okay. You've been working with your father and mother in the farm here for how many years?
Since my infancy. But it's not like a child labor, but they have been taking me to farm just to practice how. I want tomatoes buyers, those that are America and Europe, that they should try and buy tomatoes in Africa, because Africa, we produce best quality tomatoes.